Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new around here. I am going to be doing my 37/38 week pregnancy update for you today. So as usual in my updates, I'm going to be sharing how I've been feeling, what I've been up to, any of your guys' questions, and a quick bump date at the end. So if you want to see how I've been feeling and everything else, then keep on watching. So I have wrote down, I've actually physically written a list this time. I normally write it on my phone, but I just put pen to paper this time. Don't know why. So I'm going to be sharing my update for kind of between 36 and 38 weeks, because I think the last update I did was at 35 weeks. So I am currently 38 weeks and 3 days, which is just absolutely insane. Like, I cannot believe we're actually at this point now. She could come literally at any moment, which is just insane. So yeah, this update is probably going to seem fairly miserable to be quite honest with you, because I'm at that stage now. If you have been pregnant before or are currently pregnant and maybe you're around the same kind of gestation as me, then you'll probably get what I mean when I say that I'm just at that stage now where I'm just a bit sick and tired of being pregnant. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't mean that in like a really negative way. I mean that as I just cannot wait to meet my baby now. Like, I've just had enough of feeling like crap, quite frankly. So we're gonna dive into kind of how I've been feeling and everything like that. In terms of symptoms, like I said in the last few updates, there hasn't really been that many. The only two that I've noticed over the last kind of week or so, and I think that is fairly normal because of like the hormone shift again, is my bowels have been all over the place. Like, if it's not one thing, it's the other, if you know what I mean. And my skin has been an absolute hot mess. If you remember my early updates, then you'll probably remember that I was suffering quite bad with kind of like hormonal acne on my face, and that has kind of come back, although it's mainly been on my chin at the moment. But yeah, so that's kind of presented itself over the last kind of couple of weeks, which has been a little bit crap because it's just like adding to everything else, making me feel a bit kind of deflated. I know it's something super minor, but it's just when you feel pretty crap and then like you get a massive freaking spot on your face, it's just like, are you kidding me? So yeah, they're the only kind of symptomatic things I would say, other than feeling uncomfortable 99% of the time. So I think I said in my last update, on my 35 week update, that I'm starting to struggle a little bit more in doing things like putting on shoes and things like that. I'm starting to have to kind of widen my hips to be able to do things, which is fine. I can kind of work around a lot of things, but it's more an issue kind of in the evening. I can't get comfy, like if I'm sitting on the sofa or whatever, I cannot get in a position that I'm comfortable in, which is just annoying more than anything. And likewise at night, obviously you're told to kind of sleep on your left side, which you don't think is going to be a problem until you have to try and attempt to do it for like 9 months. And whoa, it's hard. So yeah, that's been a bit of a struggle. My sleep recently, obviously I'm waking up a million times in the night to go to the toilet, which is just frustrating because you're cold, you're tired and everything else, and the last thing you want to do is get out of bed, but your bladder's like, you're gonna wet yourself if you don't get up. So yeah, there's that. So I'm waking up quite a lot, obviously, one, to go to the toilet, and two, because my ribs predominantly are just like really sore. I don't know if that is just because I'm sleeping on the one side or what. I have been sleeping some of the time on my right hand side just because I can't get comfy and I can't sleep, so I figure it's probably best to get some sleep even if I'm, you know, not in the best position. So yeah, there's that. And then the other things are kind of less physical, more mental, which I kind of anticipated at this kind of point. Like I say, I'm past 38 weeks now, and the fear is setting in. The anxiety is very much there. And yeah, along with a couple of other kind of things. So 2 things I've got wrote down are the kind of feeling very blah is back. So again, I had this quite early on, kind of around the point that I was starting to show, but not like bump. And I feel like that had its own justification in terms of feeling very blah, because like you knew you were pregnant, but you didn't really look pregnant, and you just kind of feel a bit blah when your body's going through those kind of changes. And I'm feeling very much like that now, partially down to my weight, not like my stomach or anything. I don't have a problem with that at all, but I can see that I've gained weight, like in my face and in like my legs and stuff, and it's just making me feel a bit like blah, to be honest. My husband's been trying to like take quite a lot of pictures recently, and using me as like a test subject, and when I look back at the pictures I'm like, oh my god, do I actually look like that? And it's just a bit deflating, to be honest, because it's like, I know I've done it to myself, I know there's no real excuse for it, I don't need to have eaten this much. But yeah, so obviously we're on the home stretch now, I can obviously focus more on my health once baby is here. But yeah, it is making me feel a bit shit, to be honest with you. And likewise, I'm feeling quite emotional, and I don't know again if that is because of that or just because my hormones are shifting around again. And yeah, I guess it's a mixture of everything really, but yeah, I'm feeling quite emotional over like little things. And a lot of the time it is just because like I'll look in the mirror and be like, oh, I literally look fucking shit. And I've had so many lovely comments on here and on Instagram, so thank you so much to all of you that said like I look glowy and all of this stuff that you kind of just say to pregnant people, because I have honestly been feeling really shit as of late. So yes, it's very much appreciated. In terms of my anxiety, it hit me really hard the other day actually, on New Year's Eve. I think it was because I felt like I had like early signs of like labour and stuff, because I went to the toilet a couple of times in the space of an hour, and things like that, if you know what I mean. And it made me think like, oh my god, holy shit, like I just came over feeling really sick, and I was like, is this it? Is it happening? And it just kind of suddenly dawned on me that, oh my god, I'm actually gonna have to give birth. And I've said this in previous videos that obviously I think when you're pregnant you kind of just forget about that, because you just think, well, I'm gonna have to give birth at some point, like there's no point really thinking too much about it. But then when it comes to kind of this point near the end, I think especially with your first, you do kind of think like more about it, and you just think, oh holy shit, like I'm gonna actually have to do this. And it's very scary thought. I am obviously trying to do hypnobirthing and stuff, so I'm going to kind of implement a couple of those things into my life over the next kind of couple of weeks and stuff, in terms of relaxation techniques and things like that, just to kind of, one, prepare myself, and two, just to try and relax as much as possible. Obviously happy hormones are a good thing at this point. I need all of the endorphins to be running around my body at the minute, so yeah, it's very much trying to ignore that anxiety, but at the same time like actually deal with it, if that makes any sense. Obviously I don't want to ignore it completely, and then it like hit me again, but at the same time like I can't dwell on it because it's gonna have to happen. So I'm feeling anxious about like the birth and stuff, and then the other thing I'm kind of feeling a bit more anxious about is like my husband returning to work. So he's been off since like mid-December, and he goes back to work tomorrow probably as you're watching this. And it's not the fact that he'll be at work and I'll be on my own. I feel fine about that because I'm quite fortunate in the respect that obviously he doesn't work very far away from where we live or anything like that. But it's more COVID that bothers me because he's in a job that he can't socially distance. They don't generally like wipe down all their stuff after they've touched it because they just can't. And obviously he works with quite a lot of people that maybe don't give so much of a shit. I'm gonna leave it quite broad there. I'm not gonna elaborate on how I feel about that, but yeah. So the fact that he's obviously going to be going back, mingling with all these people again and everything else, obviously I don't want him to get ill, I don't want myself to get ill, I don't want anything to obviously affect the birth or anything, and I also don't obviously want anything to affect the possible chance of him, you know, being at the birth of his child. So it's a lot to think about. I mean, I have been lucky that obviously he's been off for the last few weeks, and it has been really, really nice, but now it's just kind of like, oh, like anything could happen, and these are the last few weeks that are probably gonna matter the most in terms of like getting ill or anything like that, regardless of what it is, even if it's a cold, you know. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at in terms of how I'm feeling and things like that. You can probably hear it in my voice, actually. I feel a bit like emotional talking. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to think about. But anyway, I'm going to flick back to my last update and just see if there was any questions on there. I think there was. I did have a question from Zoe. I did reply to her just regarding the maternity leggings that I've been wearing, and I've mentioned in a couple of my updates before, so I thought I would just address it on here in case any of you guys wondered as well. And she just asked in terms of sizing, which kind of size did I go for. So I went for my normal size, which is a size 12, and I find that's absolutely perfect. If anything, they're a little bit big, but not in a bad way, in a nice way, like in a comfortable way. I have recently got another pair, the ones that I'm wearing today, that are River Island, I think, and I've also got these in a 12. Obviously I'm slightly bigger now, but these don't have like as much stretch in them, so I don't feel like they're as comfy. But yeah, those ones are really good, the ASOS ones, sorry, and I'll leave them linked down below. So I had a question: have you ever had anyone ask to rub or touch your bump or feel baby move and kick, and how do you feel about that? I have had quite a lot of people ask to do that, predominantly friends and family, which I don't have a problem with, like especially because they tend to be the people that ask before they do it. I don't have a problem with that, but I more have a problem with the fact that clients have done it, and generally without asking, which I find really bizarre. Like, you wouldn't exactly just go up to someone in the street and just like touch their bump, especially without asking. So yeah, I find it a bit weird, but at the same time it's kind of like, I don't know, I'm growing a human, so it's a pretty cool thing, and it's kind of nice to share it with other people. So yeah. How many kids do you want, and do you have social media to follow? So in terms of social media, yes, I do have a Facebook, but I don't actively kind of use it. I just kind of share pictures every now and then on there, but the one that I mainly use is Instagram. I don't use Twitter at all, but I do use Instagram, and I tend to put quite a lot of stuff on there, kind of daily kind of updates on me and whatever we're doing or things like that. So if you want to kind of see more what I'm up to day to day, then head over to my Instagram. Link's always in the description box. And in terms of how many children do we want, I think we've both said that we'd like 2, ideally. It would be nice. Obviously, we don't know what's gonna happen. We might just have this one and be like, right, no, we're done. And likewise, we might not be able to have any more. But I think in an ideal world, I would like 2. Both me and my husband are, actually no, that's a lie. I was gonna say we're both one of 2. We're not, I'm one of 3. But yeah, my mum had my little brother when I was 16, so slightly different. But yeah, I liked having a sibling growing up, and I think my husband probably would say the same thing as well. We very much said that we'd like her to have a sibling if possible. So yeah, 2 I think is the ideal. I don't see myself having more than 2, but never say never. So yeah, that concludes my update for kind of, like I say, between 36 and 38 weeks. I think the only other thing there is that I think baby has kind of dropped and kind of started to engage now. I woke up this morning and I was like, my bump just looks really weird, like she's like completely disappeared. And I said that to a couple of my friends and they kind of said the same things. So I don't really know. I'm going to quickly show you my bump now, and you can kind of see what she was looking like. But yeah, I think that's everything. So let's do it. So like I say, I am 38 weeks and 3 days today as I am filming this, and this is my current bump with clothes on, which I don't know, I feel like she's stuck back out again now compared to this morning. I'll insert some pictures at some point, but yeah, this is what she's looking like. And then these are the River Island leggings that I was on about. So bump from this side, bump from the front. Like she's moving around now. I like my belly button has definitely kind of popped out as well. And I've got a little stretch mark down here. I've got quite a lot of my boobs as well, but I won't be showing you that. And then bump from this side. So yeah, I can't really tell what she's doing in terms of positioning. I think at my last midwife appointment, which was at 36 weeks, which was a couple of weeks ago, she was head down but slightly back to back. So yeah, that's been kind of what I've been working on the last couple of weeks, is trying to get her to be the right way around to make things obviously a lot easier for us both. And yeah, so that concludes my update. I hope you have enjoyed it. This may well be the last one. I don't know. I might even be doing a 42-week update. Who knows? But yeah, let me know down below if you are enjoying these videos, and let me know your predictions on dates and weights and things like that. I'd be really interested to know what you guys think in terms of when she's going to make an appearance. So yeah, I will be sure to obviously keep you posted on the old socials. It'll probably be on Instagram before I make any kind of videos. So like I say, if you aren't already, head over to my Instagram. The link is in the description of this video, and then you will probably know when she's here. But yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.